welcome to my 1000 run Chaos project, which I've been working on for quite a while. Hopefully you like what you see. I appreciate if you drop a like or subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. Also, this whole thing was done with my Mosaic Assassin. She is almost level 97. By no means perfect gear or anything, but she's decent. I also had a lot of Annie spawns towards the back end of the project, which I kinda had to do in between, which then kinda put the Chaos on hold for a second. Just I don't want to spawn the declone in Chaos, so I can't kill Diablo in that same run. For that reason, I spawned him in Frigid Highlands, so that way I can go back and continue on with where I was on my Chaos runs. Also, we'll be getting quite a couple of high runes. I will only include the good items. I won't include the lower tier items, so things like laying of hands and stuff like that I won't include. I'll try to only include stuff that are either special, high end, or high rolled. Yeah, so let's get to the project, and we're gonna start off very strong on our run number 7, where we'll have a double drop, but it's only the one drop we're gonna talk about. So first high rune of the project is on round 7. We get a Cham rune. We also get a unique amulet, but it's a Nakasan, so that one goes out the window. Coming up on run number 29, we drop our second high rune, which is this time it's a crazy good one. We get the Burr rune. Now coming up on run number 112, Diablo is in a Christmas mood and drops me a Serve rune. Coming up on run number 172, we get a second Serve rune. And coming up on run number 235, we get our fourth high rune, which is an Ohm rune. And at this point I was kinda in shock. I was like, what in the hell is going on? Because I do tend to get a lot of high runes, but that was crazy. Run number 270, we get a Skiller, which is the reason I tend to clear River alongside with Chaos. Just I'm going that way anyway. So a perfect 40 rolled gold find, combat barbarian skiller. Not the best skill, but I'm happy. We then go to run number 384. So we had like a little dry spell, but here we get a Kira's. Super sad to say that this Kira's is unfortunately ethereal. So, and it's rolled with bad stats. It'll be a giveaway item that I've probably already given away by the time of me uploading the video. Coming up on run number 426, here we get our very first Geats, worth mentioning. I don't think we get a second one though. This is definitely the one that was worth mentioning. So it's a 39, 15, and 136. It's fairly close to perfect. We have the biggest rise spell we have in the runs. We're coming up on run number 607, where we get a Fire Lizard. I only show this one because it's ethereal, so it was kind of cool. It's my first ethereal one on D2R. Now coming up just 6 runs later, we drop a Shaco. It'll be the only one I put in here, I believe. Just 'cause I did find like 3 or 4 of them, but I'm only including this one just to show that I found it. And the other ones, it was like I've given them all away for free anyways. Coming up on run number 692, we are gonna get our last high rune drop, which is of the lower kind, but I'm still happy about it. It's with the amount I've gotten so far, I'm stoked. Like I'm going crazy over this shit. So we get the Vex rune, and run number 764. Diablo is in a good mood. He drops us a Viper Magi. Sadly, turns out to not be the best roll on it, so that one we'll be giving away for free a couple of games later, I believe. Or not a couple of games later, a couple of days later. That's what I meant to say. A couple of days later, I gave that away for free to someone in the public lobby. Coming up on our by far best run of this whole entire thing. So this is run number 787, and on this run we get the Bone Wand right here, which is a decent one. It's not by crazy by any means, but at least it's decent. And then in this run or just in a second here, we'll drop another very nice item, and Diablo will also drop us something that's I'm gonna mention because it's all in one game, so for that reason I'll mention it. But yeah, this is one of the ones where I am super impressed because it's so rare. Just the rarity of this item is very high. Sadly, it could have been way better than it is, but we are gonna include the trade I did for it, or the thing I get for it when I trade it, and at least I get a jar rune out of the trade, so not a bad way to it's probably worth way more than a jar rune, but in my opinion I don't really care. So we get a 45 all-res vortex shield, which I drop and immediately regret it. Yep, and then we get the razor tail belt all in one go. So this is all the same run, which is insane. And then we're gonna quickly make a new game. We're gonna offer up the vortex to see what we can get for it, but as I already said, we are gonna get a jar rune for it, which is, as I said, it's probably worth more, but he offers up a Vex rune and I'm immediately like, hell to the no. I am not doing that for the Vex rune, not for a perfect roll on the reses. So I immediately back out. I tell him not enough. I expect him not to trade me, kind of, because I was thinking, oh well, maybe the next guy will trade instead. And I'm like, screw it, I don't want to stick around too long. So when he puts the jar in the window, I'm just immediately gonna go, yes. I kind of needed a jar, so that went hand in hand. And coming up on like 40 runs later-ish, we are gonna get the next good thing of Diablo here. He's feeling extra generous, so he drops us both an Ishudas and a Viper. The Ishudas is not worth talking about. It's super, yeah, you'll see for yourself. Very bad, but the Viper though, the Viper Magi is nearly perfect. It's really close to perfect. So this Ishudas will be just a handout for a random game, a random public game, and the Viper, once we get to the point where I identify it, let's see, this is so close, man. I really do wish that it would have rolled perfect. Now it's just, I gotta up it to see if it gets 1,000 defense or above, and then I'll be happy if it gets that. So a 35 all-res, but only 12 damage reduction. But yeah, coming up on run numbers 878, we get our first Ormus. Not a good one per se. It's Blaze, but with the perfect fire damage, so I'm not completely unhappy. Coming up on run number 903, we'll include this, even though it's a very low tier item, just because it rolled perfect. So for the perfect Mage Fist, I'll put those on one of my other non-ladder characters once this goes non-ladder. And now we're coming up on my biggest fucking stupid mistake I've done so far. I was repairing right after I got the Mage Fist. My gloves were broken, so I went to town to repair them. And as I get to town and repair them, what do? I accidentally sell one of my mosaics to Charcy, and it's gone forever. So I make a new game, ask for a trade for a base for a mosaic. A guy joins and starts doing terror zones in the game I was trying to get a Greater Claw. And I just follow him around, and by chance it drops me a Greater Claw. That's pretty decent, so I'm gonna use that from now on. Coming up on run number, we are in 934 here, where Infector decides that it's time for the Arachnid Smash, very first one, and it's a 97 defense, not perfect or anything, but at least it's decent. Good drop, I'm not gonna complain. And then next run after I get the Arachnids, so that would be 935. We are gonna drop one of the better bases I've found so far, but I am not entirely sure if it's actually valuable or not, because I don't really play that character. So I don't know what a charged paladin actually uses. But it seemed very nice. I had to look at it twice, because I was like, holy crap, that is really good. And then just one run later, run 936, we get an Andes, which is, I believe that's our first Andes in this. Yeah, close to perfect, not ethereal, but I'm happy, not mad. And then the Annie rain started. Like, we get 10 Annies in a row here from run number 940 to 951. I believe, or not 10, we get like 8. I think it's 8 Annies to be completely specific. Which is, most of them are just throwaway Annies, so I'll just be throwing them on the ground in public games and giving them away for free. But in this period of time I was trying to eat, I was taking a little break for an hour and a half, but every fucking 10 minutes it would like literally start shaking the controller crazy, and I can hear like the sound of declone spawning. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go back and like quickly kill him and see if I can. And I'm like freaking out, because it's like constantly now, and I'm like, I sit down, I eat a little bit, and then I hear the vibration on the controller. I look over on the screen, I can see everything's shaking. I'm like, holy crap, again. And then after the first 3, I was like, oh, okay, now I can sit down. They're not popping more than 3. And it just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, and it wouldn't stop. And I was like, okay, like how many SOJs are we selling here? Because this is kind of insane. Like, this is wild. Yeah, so I believe, is this the one that drops us the best Annie of the bunch, which is an 18-18-5. That is our best Annie from the, I want to say 8, or maybe it was 10. It was like 8 or 10. It was like a lot. As you can see on the side, there is a bunch of Annies, which I already picked up at this point. In the same run as I got the 18-18, I believe, I get a pair of drags. And now these drags are close to perfect. So again, I'm super proud of those. I'm really happy. I'm definitely be keeping those. And then we are in run 972, or we're coming up on run 972, where we'll be getting. Is this the 18? Yeah, this is the 18-18 Annie we got here. Yeah. Or am I misremembering? I think it's an Ohm rune for a second, and then we go back to drop our own Annie into the stash. And a good way, when I am spec'd out the way I am, when I take off my Annie, I lose both my weapons. So I know I need 17 in order to be able to hold both weapons, right? Like 17 attributes. So if I ID an Annie and I hold both my weapons in my hand when I run away from Kane, I know it's decent. It has to be at least 17 attributes, and this is our 1885, yes. Now coming up on run number 972, we get the second Andes. A little bit less good than the first one, but nonetheless it's an Andes, so I am definitely not gonna complain. It's super nice, can't complain about that. And then we're gonna include the trade I did basically for the burr rune that we found in the very beginning, which I'll be adding on the 5 all-res small charm that I found right before starting this 1000 run project. And we're gonna be trading that for a extremely nice poison and bone skiller with life on it, which I was missing dearly for my bone necro that is still not completely finished. He's still missing a bunch of life skillers. So I decided to pop in this game real quick, put a burr and a 5 all-res small charm in the trade window just to see if he was interested. I wasn't sure if I feel like I'm underpaying by a lot here. I feel like this I could have offered him like 4 burrs on this and it would still be fair in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So we get a 42 lifer for a 5 all-res and a burr, which in my opinion is just brilliant. And on top of that, it's the actual skin that I really love, so I'm so stoked. It's a big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for that trade if you watched the video. Now, thank you for watching and have a great day. I hope you liked the video.